Hello everyone, hope you all are good and hope that you have studied all the previous lectures properly. Yeah, we are going to continue with the same chapter, that is chapter 6, subsidiary books. Yeah, today is the last lecture for this chapter. In this lecture we are going to finish and we are going to complete this chapter. Yeah, in the last lecture, the lecture previous to this, we have studied about purchase book with the column of expenses. Yes, and today we are going to understand sales book with the column of expenses. Yeah, simple sales book, columnar sales book, that we have already learned. We have also learned sales return book. Yeah, so finally we are going to learn the sales book according to the column of expenses, the only thing that is left. Yeah, of course the sales return book we are not going to do for according with the column of expenses. This is the last topic. In short, I am trying to say that we are going to understand from this chapter. Yes, we have almost understood everything which is important or which is basic. Yes, so illustration 6 that we are going to understand in today's lecture. It is given on page number 137. I am reading the same. From the following transactions, prepare sales book inclusive of expenses in the books of Sardar Stores of Surat. I have written a heading, sales book of Sardar Stores. Sardar Stores kept record of GST. It is keeps record of GST, railway freight and labor. Prepare sales book on the basis of total GST rate 12%. The rate of GST 12% is given. GST is not included for following transaction. Add applicable amount of GST and prepare sales book. So the rate of GST 12% and railway freight and labor the column of expenses. Yes, so let me just label this specimen that I have prepared. Yeah, the very first column is of course of date. Just because this is sales book, it is name of customer. Yes, sales book, so it is outward invoice number, ledger folio number. Then we have the column of amount. The very first, net amount of goods. Net amount of goods. What is included in net amount of goods? The price of goods less trade discount. Railway freight. The next is labor, that can also be wages, labor, anything you write. The next column is of course for GST. Yes, interstate and intrastate. Yeah, so intrastate, intrastate supply and interstate supply. You know very well, in intrastate it is CGST and SGST, but here it is output. Instead of input. Input is in the case of purchase, SGST. Next is interstate, where it is IGST, and the last column is for total. Total amount is the inclusive of all. Yeah, so this is the specimen for sales book according to the column of expenses, and we are doing illustration 6. So let us quickly begin. Sales book is of Sardar Stores. The GST rate applicable is 12%. 2015, 1st of June, goods sold of rupees 30,000 at 10% trade discount to Pankaj. Railway freight 1000, wages 300, invoice number 123. Of course, this is a credit transaction and hence this will surely be recorded. So in the column of date, first of all, I will be writing down the year. The month is June, 1st of June. The name of the party, Pankaj. Name of the customer, bill number 123. Nothing for LF. Net amount of goods, 30,000, 10% trade discount. Firstly, 10% for 30,000 is 3,000. So the net price of goods is 30,000 minus 3,000, which is 27,000. Alright, let me check the amount for railway freight, 1,000. Wages, 300. Now, if we are talking about GST, so the 12%, 27,000 plus 1,000 plus 300. So the total amount up till here is 28,300. GST we are supposed to calculate 12%. So 12% of 28,300. 28,300 कैसे? 27,000 the net price of goods, railway freight, wages or labor. This way it is 28,300. Now 12% for that, 3,396. Yeah. Okay. So the transaction, it is goods of rupees 30,000 sold to Pankaj. If nothing is mentioned, yeah, it is considered to be intrastate. And the GST is 3,396, 6% CGST, 6% SGST. So let me just divide this amount equally, 3,396. So 1,698 rupees. Yes. Now the total. We are supposed to write the total amount. So 28,300 plus the amount of GST, and the total amount is 29,998. There is some mistake with this. Just give me a minute. In your textbook on page number 138, 27,000 plus 1,000 plus 300 plus 1,698, and again, yes, there is no mistake. Actually, I just included CGST and I forgot to add SGST. Yes, that is why there was difference in amount. Now it is okay. 31,696. And ahead, the next transaction, on 10th of June, goods sold of rupees 50,000 at 10% trade discount on cash to Nilesh. Labor charges of rupees 200. Now this is purely a cash transaction. Goods have been sold to Nilesh on cash. Labor charges of rupees 200. But just because this transaction is cash transaction, it cannot be recorded in sales book. Yeah. So you will not record this transaction, but you will be writing down a note for this. Yes. So let me read the note that is given on page number 138. You can see On a 10th of June, it is written, cash sales will be recorded in cash book. Yeah, next. On 14th of June, goods sold of rupees 20,000 at 5% trade discount on credit on 3 months to Jayesh Bhai of Jaipur. On the behalf of Jayesh Bhai, paid labor rupees 250, railway freight rupees 400, bill number 130, sent by adding labor and railway freight. Firstly, all I can recognize is that this is the credit transaction, and obviously this transaction will be recorded in the books of accounts. So turn the page, see the solution. Jayesh Bhai, net amount of goods, railway freight, labor, everything, and it is clearly mentioned that the goods have been sold to Jayesh Bhai of Jaipur, which is in Rajasthan. Yeah, Rajasthan gives us a clear clarification about application of GST, which is interstate, so IGST. Yeah, so on 14th of June, name of customer Jayesh Bhai, bill number 130, goods of rupees 20,000, 5% trade discount. So 20,000 ka 5%, it is 1,000. So the net amount of goods is 19,000. Railway freight 400, labor 250, interstate, let me total this, and the 12% for same, 19,000 plus 400 plus 250, 19,650, and 12% for the same, 2,358 rupees, and that's correct. Adding up this amount to this gives us the total amount 2,358 plus 19,650. That gives you the net amount, sorry, not the net amount, the total amount, which is 22,008 rupees. Alright, there's nothing new. In purchase book, it was input GST. Here it is output GST. Other than that, you are just having simple columns of respective expenses that are being conducted. You just have to add and you have to present the total amount. There's nothing new. The next transaction on 15th of June, it says a old machine sold to Kishan for rupees 1500. For it, labor paid rupees 320. Kishan gave guarantee to pay within 15 days. Okay, this is a credit transaction, of course, it is understood. But it is the sale of machine. The sale of machine cannot be recorded here because it is an asset, it is fixed asset. Yes, and sale and purchase of fixed assets on credit is recorded in journal proper always. Yeah, you can see the note below on 15th of June. It says machine is an asset, will be recorded in journal proper, and labor will be recorded in cash book. Yeah. Next, on 25th of June, goods sold of rupees 10,000 at 5% trade discount on credit of 3 months to Vaibhavi. Railway freight was of rupees 800. Vaibhavi paid half amount of total amount. Invoice number 135. Of course, this is partial cash and partial credit transaction. So this entire transaction is to be treated as credit transaction and is to be recorded in this subsidiary book. So 25th of June, name of the customer is Vaibhavi. Bill number 135. Goods of rupees 10,000, 5% trade discount. 10,000, 5% is 500. So 10,000 minus 500 gives you 9,500 B, the net price of goods. Railway freight, it says it is of 800. Labor, no, they have not mentioned about labor, I think. No. Yes, goods have been sold to Vaibhavi and they have not mentioned whether this transaction is, it is with other state or not, yeah, right? That means it is interstate, yeah. If it is interstate, it is clearly mentioned the way it was mentioned about Rajasthan in the previous transaction that we have recorded in this book, yeah. So 9,500 plus 800, the net amount of goods, 10,000, the total amount up till now, 10,300, 12% for the same, 1,236, half of this, 618 rupees. So 618 rupees CGST and 618 rupees SGST, yeah. So 1,236 is the total GST that is to be added to this amount, and the total amount for this is 11,536. Alright. Next, 30th of June, goods sold of rupees 40,000 at 10% trade discount on credit of 1 month to Gaurang. Railway freight rupees 1,500 added in invoice number 140 and sent it. Of course, this is a credit transaction. So on 30th of June, the name of the party Gaurang, bill number 140, price of goods 40,000 at 10% trade discount. 10% of 40,000 is 4,000. 40,000 minus 4,000 is 36,000. This is the net price of goods. Do we have freight? Yes, we have freight. We don't have labor. So 1,500. 36,000 plus 1,500, 37,500. Again, they have not mentioned that if the transaction is with some other state. So simply 12% of this 4,500 and a half of it 2,250 CGST and SGST. So the total amount 4,500 when added to 37,500 is 42,000. And that's all. The only thing that we are left with in this sum is of total. So let us do that. Sorry, yes, please excuse me. Total. Now I think there is no need of letting you know again and again कि total कैसे किया जाता है. You're supposed to add up the amounts. That's just the simple thing. So let us do 27,000 plus 19,000, 9,500, 36,000. The total is 91,500 1000 plus 400 plus 800 plus 1500, 3700, 3700. Of course, 550, 1698, 618, 2250, 4566. Of course, this is the same total for this. Total for the last column. 31,696, 22,008 rupees, 11,536, 42,000. So the total is 1,07,240 rupees. 1,07,240. Yeah, so that's all. We have completed our sum. You are supposed to put a line before the total and the line after the total. This completes your sum. Yeah, so that's all for this chapter. No other sums, no new concepts that we are going to learn in this chapter. So now we'll have an overview of this chapter, and with this we are done with subsidiary books. And the very next chapter that we are going to start is of cash book and its types. The simplest and easiest chapter of all. Yeah, I mean not easiest chapter of all, but it's okay. It is interesting actually, I wanted to say. Yeah, so subsidiary books, starting from the beginning, from the very first lecture. I gave you introduction of this chapter. I have explained the meaning of subsidiary books, yes, that what actually subsidiary books are. Yeah, I said that they are subdivided journals. Yeah, what do you do in journal? You record all the transactions. In subsidiary books even you are doing the same. In subsidiary books you record the transactions of similar kind in separate books, specially prepared for those type of transactions. Like you will be recording all the transactions for credit purchase of goods in purchase book. All the transactions for credit purchase of credit sale of goods you will be writing in sales book. And also we have learned the rules for recording the transactions in subsidiary books. Yeah. So you are supposed to memorize all those rules, then you are supposed to solve the sums. Yeah. So in the beginning of this chapter, on page number 126, actually, the meaning of subsidiary books is given. Yeah. Subsidiary books refer to the journals kept for specific transactions of similar nature. This can be the definition. Then you have types of subsidiary books. The very first type that they have mentioned is cash book. In that you have simple cash book, cash and bank columnar cash book, or cash and discount columnar, or bank and discount columnar cash book. This all come under the category of two columnar cash book. Of course, you are not able to understand right now, but yes, this is given clearly in the next chapter. यहाँ पे आपको सिर्फ एक आइडिया दे रहे हैं सब्सिडरी बुक्स कितनी होती हैं. इफ़ यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट कैश बुक राइट नाउ, तो कैश बुक इज़ अ डिटेल्ड चैप्टर द वेरी नेक्स्ट टू सब्सिडरी बुक्स. तो यहाँ पे उन्होंने सिर्फ नाम मेंशन किया है, तो नाम सुनने से चैप्टर तो नहीं समझ में आएगा. यस, और टाइप्स मेंशन की है, तो वो सारा जब हम डिटेल में जाएंगे नेक्स्ट चैप्टर में, डेफिनेटली आपको तभी समझ में आने वाला है. या देन goods subsidiary books, the most important topic. Yes, I think you are done with this sum. So let me just erase this so that I can explain properly here. subsidiary books of goods, yeah, is the main thing and main topic of this chapter, and the sums that we have done, yeah, all the sums we have done for the subsidiary books of goods, isn't it? So let me just revise this for you. Subsidiary books of goods, yeah, the very first that we have learned, this is where the entire chapter revolves. Subsidiary books of goods. The very first book in that is purchase book. Purchase book of two types, simple, columnar. Okay, simple purchase book if we are talking about, then there is only one column of amount. Columnar, again you are having two types according to the type of goods, according to the column of expenses. Yes. So on the basis of simple purchase book, we have solved, about simple purchase book, we have understood all the rules that you are supposed to record only credit transactions for purchase of goods only, not even assets. You are supposed to record the net price of goods. What is net price? Net price is the price obtained after deducting trade discount. Next thing, partial cash transaction or partial credit transaction is to be treated as credit transaction entirely. Purchase of an asset cannot be recorded in purchase book. Yeah? And the transactions that you will not record in purchase book, I am talking about all the three. Yes? Those transactions, for those transactions you will be writing down a note compulsory. Yes, this is the pattern we have learned. So for purchase book we have done illustration 1. I am just giving you an idea that about whatever we have done in this chapter. So illustration 1, which is about preparing simple purchase book. Yes, illustration 1, that is a simple purchase book. Illustration 2 is for columnar, which is according to the type of goods. Then illustration 3, which is according to the column of expenses. Yes, let me still cross check this. Yes. Then we have done sums of similar kind from exercise. I'll just find out the same. I'm just giving you clear idea so that आप confused ना हो कि हमने कौन से sums करने हैं. Okay. Preparation of purchase book. Simple purchase book, it is sum number 4. Sum number 5 is for the column of, according to the type of goods. Sum number 6 that I gave you in homework is for according to the column of expenses. Yeah. Okay. And everything is in order. The next thing that we have learned, so yes, let me write down the number. Illustration 1 is similar to 4, this to 5 and this to 6. तो अगर आप प्रैक्टिस करेंगे तो आप ये एक सीन आपके पास क्लियर होना चाहिए. यस कि आप इलस्ट्रेशन 1 कर रहे हैं तो उसके जैसा सम नंबर 4 है एंड रिस्पेक्टिव थिंग. या thereafter we have started with sales book. Yeah, sales book. Again the same thing. the two types, simple sales book, columnar sales book. Yeah, simple sales book, then columnar. Columnar में type of goods and according to the column of expenses. Yeah, rules they remain same. You are going to record all the transactions for credit sale of goods only. Cash sales cannot be recorded. You'll be recording the net price of goods. In simple sales book, you are having only one column of amount, and in rest of the, if we are talking about columnar, then you are having the column of amount. A number of columns are more for amount. Yeah. Then, yes, of course, you will be recording the net price, and of course, all the rules remain same. Sale of assets cannot be recorded, and once you are done preparing that, you will be writing a note for the transactions that you have not included in sales book. Yeah. So, sales return book, sorry, not sales return book, my mistake. Sales book, the topic starts from page number 133, and on the basis of this, if I am not wrong, yes, we have done illustration 4, which is similar to sum number 7. Yeah. Then according to the type of goods, yes, we have done illustration 5 and illustration 6 that we have done in today's lecture is with the columns for goods and expenses. Yes. So sums according to this, sum number 7, sum number 8 columnar, that also we have done, and sum number 9 you are going to do in homework for today. Yeah. Then the next thing is sum number 10, which is about preparation of purchase book and purchase returns book in the books of Gujarat traders. I think we have solved this sum even. Yeah. We have learned purchase book, we have learned sales book. Yeah. So then is return book, that is purchase return, and sales return. These words you are very familiar with. Yeah. Still, let me give you an example, explanation, sorry. Purchase return. So for that you should be aware of purchase. Purchase. Purchase of what? Purchase is the word which is purely used for the purchase of goods only. So if it is purchase, it is definitely purchase of goods. So goods comes in. If you are purchasing, goods are coming in, and hence debit. Debit what comes in. Purchased goods. The person from whom you have purchased goods. If you will return those goods, that becomes purchase return for you, and that is having credit balance. Yeah. Then sales. Sales is the word which is used for sale of goods. Yeah. Sales is the word which is used for sale of goods only. So when you are selling goods, goods goes out. So credit what goes out. Goods is a part of real account. Yes, and hence the rule of real account has been applied by me while explaining this to you. So if you have sold goods to someone and the same person, the customer, yes, if that customer will return you goods, that becomes sales return. Yes. So transactions for credit purchase of goods will be recorded in purchase book. Transactions for sale of goods on credit will be recorded in sales book. Then the transactions for purchase return in this book and sales return in sales return book. You should be able to recognize a transaction at first. कि आपने जिसको गुड्स सेल किए हैं तो वो पार्टी अगर आपको गुड्स रिटर्न कर रही है तो वो हुआ क्या, वो सेल्स हुआ, सेल्स रिटर्न हुआ, परचेस रिटर्न हुआ या परचेस हुआ. तो बेसिक नॉलेज आपका क्लियर होना चाहिए. बेसिक नॉलेज क्लियर होना चाहिए का मतलब यही है कि आपको पहले के चैप्टर्स भी आने चाहिए, तो बेस उसमें ही होता है. यस, सी accountancy is not a subject to be taken lightly. Yes, of course none of the subjects are supposed to be taken lightly, but you see, if we are talking about theory, you might be thinking that yes ma'am, I'll manage, I'll just learn, I'll mug up the I'll mug up the answers and I'll write down in my paper. You just think, is it possible for you to mug up this sort of things which are purely logical and are completely based on understanding? तो ये आप नहीं एक्सपेक्ट कर सकते. यस, तो ये आपको समझना ही पड़ेगा फ्रॉम द वेरी बिगिनिंग. अगर आपका चैप्टर 1 से ध्यान नहीं था तो आपको चैप्टर 6 समझ में आएगा, ऐसी उम्मीद तो ना आप रखेंगे ना मैं रख सकती हूँ. यस, सो फ्रॉम चैप्टर 1 द डेफिनेशंस, ऑल द लेक्चर्स, एवरीथिंग यू आर सपोज्ड टू स्टडी केयरफुली. यस, only then you will be able to move ahead. Yeah, not otherwise. Okay, so on the basis of purchase return book and sales return book, we have solved sum number 10. उसमें आपको परचेस बुक एंड परचेस रिटर्न बुक बनाने के लिए ही कहा है. So the transactions of purchase you will be writing in purchase book, transactions of purchase return in purchase return book of course, and the transactions which will not appear in both the books, for that you will be writing down a note. Yeah. The next sum is of course with no doubt about preparing sales book and sales returns book. तो उसमें भी similarly you will be preparing 2 books, you will be writing respective transactions, and the one which cannot be recorded in both the books, for that you will be writing down a note. Yeah. Then the last sum, that's not actually the last sum, but last sum that I have taught from exercise is sum number 12, which is a combination of all the 4 books, the most interesting sum of all in entire chapter. You were supposed to prepare all the 4 books. You have to pick up the transactions. Yes, that this is the transaction of purchase, this is the transaction of sales, this is the transaction of purchase return, sales return. So you are supposed to record in respective books. And of course the transaction which does not appear in any of the 4 books, for that you are supposed to write down a note. Yes, cash transaction है तो आप लिखेंगे this transaction will be recorded in cash book. If it is about purchase of an asset, you will be writing a note that this will be recorded in journal proper. Yeah. So that's all. Yes, the next sum is about preparing subsidiary books with expenses in the books of Sri Sajan Traders of Surendranagar. That's actually okay if you are not solving that sum. Whatever we have done in this chapter is more than enough to study the chapter properly and to understand the concepts properly. Even sum number 14 you are not supposed to do. So for this chapter, this is more than enough. In your exercise, sum number 13 and sum number 14. It's okay if you are not doing, but make sure that you will practice all the remaining sums. Yeah. So that's all. With this we complete chapter 6, which is of subsidiary books. Yeah. As I said, the next chapter that we are going to start with is cash book and its types. So obviously, what is a cash book, that you have already understood, or little bit of intro I have given in subsidiary books. Yes, that simple cash book, columnar cash book, 2 columnar cash book and 3 columnar cash book. Yes, so that thing we are going to understand in detail in chapter 7, which is cash book and its types. Yes. So an important thing that I want to let you know is that in subsidiary books, yes, the transactions for which you were writing down a note, yeah, what was that actually? that you were writing that cash purchase will be recorded in cash book. Purchase of an asset will be recorded in journal proper. So journal proper is the chapter next to this. Yeah. So if you are talking about cash book, so all those transactions which cannot be recorded in the subsidiary books of goods, the credit transactions, those transactions, the cash transactions, yes, on which cash discount is calculated, yeah, are recorded in cash book, yes. And the three types are simple, 2-columnar and 3-columnar cash book. The chapter is really interesting and is purely based on the concept of cash transactions. All the cash transactions are to be recorded in cash book. Yes, of course you are having a format, a specimen, just like you have a specimen for each and every chapter. Yes, every new chapter is having new format or new specimen. If we have done journal, तो journal में भी एक specimen आपको मैंने सिखाया था कि इसमें journal entries आपको लिखनी है. Subsidiary books में भी हमने specimen सीखा है, that purchase book, sales book, purchase return, sales return, फिर type of goods and then according to the column of expenses. Yes, similarly you are having a specimen of cash book also, which is given on page number 158. Yes, before that the types of cash book are also mentioned. So the types of cash book, they are mentioned and the specimen is given. That specimen actually you are supposed to, if possible, you are supposed to practice that before we actually proceed with this chapter in next lecture, of course. Yes, we are going to start with cash book in the next lecture. And I want you to memorize the specimen for simple cash book. Yeah, it is given, see, yes, on page number 158 it is given, specimen of simple cash book. If you all can see, the heading is cash book of Shri. There you will be writing down the name of the party. Starting with the left hand side, that is debit side, you can see it is debit, DR written on left hand side. Then on right hand side, CR, credit. Left hand side, the very first column is of date. Then particulars, particulars is actually information. Receipts, then receipt number, LF which is ledger folio number, then amount. Their debit side is completed. Yes, again starting from credit side, the same columns will be repeated with a minor change. That means number of columns will remain same. Date, particulars, this is about payments. Instead of receipts, now it is payments. Voucher number is bill number. LF, ledger folio number, and amount. Yes. Now, let me explain these two sides. Cash is received and is also paid. Both of these things happen in your business. Yes? So, whenever you will receive cash, you will write it on debit side. Whenever you will pay, you will make any payment, it will be recorded on credit side of cash book. Hence, it is clearly written receipts in on left hand side and payments on right hand side. Yes, so in receipts you are going to write down the amount that you have received on sale of goods, any income that you have received in cash, you are receiving commission, dividend, yes, rent if you are receiving, yeah, all those things you are going to write down on debit side of cash book. Then on credit side, that is the payment side, you will be writing the amount that you have paid. It can even be for purchase of machine, an asset, yes, you can record this. But the only condition to be fulfilled is that that machine should have been purchased for cash. आपने जो asset purchase किया है, वो cash पे purchase किया होना चाहिए, तो उसको आप cash book में लिख सकते हैं. Yes? Credit purchase of an asset will be recorded in journal proper. Yeah. Then receipt number, हमारे जितने भी sums हैं उसमें receipt number will not appear. Voucher number, nothing. LF, ledger folio number, nothing will appear. So the only thing that you will be recording is the receipts and payments. Yeah. This is the specimen of simple cash book. If you will turn the page, you will also get the specimen for 2-columnar cash book, which is on page number 161. Cash and discount columnar cash book. Page number 161. See, if you will compare these two specimens, the only change is that there is an additional column of amount on both the sides. Simple में एक ही amount था और टू कॉलमनर में दोनों तरफ दो अमाउंट है कॉलम के. One is for discount, another one is for cash. Same on the credit side. Yes. So again on receipt side, the column for cash, it is for the cash that you have received, and column for cash on credit side is for the cash that you have paid. Yeah. And if we are talking about the column of discount on debit side is the discount that you have allowed, that you have given. Yes, because discount आप allow करते हैं receipt पे. अगर आपको किसी से 550 rupees लेने हैं and if you settle for 500, yes, then that 50 rupees you have allowed discount and that is your expense, and hence discount is written on debit side of cash book. Cash discount allowed is an expense and it is allowed on receipt, cash receipt. Yes, opposite to this, discount received is recorded on credit side because as per the rule of nominal account, credit all incomes and gains. Yes, so discount received is recorded on credit side because discount is received on cash payment to us. अगर हम किसी को pay कर रहे हैं and that person says that it's okay if you pay round figure. If I'm supposed to pay 110 rupees and if I'll pay only 100 rupees, then that 10 rupees, those 10 rupees is the discount received by me. Yes. So this way we are having the specimen. Then on page number 163 you are having a specimen for 2-columnar with cash and bank. Yeah. So that way we are going to understand the cash book turn by turn, each and every. Yeah. And of course we will be starting with this chapter in the next lecture. Yeah. And we have completed subsidiary books in today's lecture. So that's all. Here we'll end our session and we'll see you all soon in the next session. So please be ready with the specimen that I have asked you to revise. Yeah. So we'll see you soon in the next lecture. Till then, stay home, stay safe and study well.